listening to that, and I hear a lot of leadership leaders. Sometimes there are strong leaders that are put in environments. And you have, sometimes people see that as a threat. Have you had any examples of that? Or has that happened to you where you're such a strong leader that you pose a threat to somebody who's in a leadership power or has a title? And if you have come across that, how did you handle it?
Yes, absolutely. So with non-positional leadership will come, you'll have that person that's going above and beyond, taking initiative, functioning outside of the scope of their role, right? And has so much potential to grow and beyond.
Oh, I'm just gonna get your camera right. I'm gonna get your camera right, your angles right. Gotta hit your angles. I gotta hit your angles. Let me get your angles right.
Okay, I'm good.
Get your angles. Got you. I got you.
So you'll definitely have that where, again, you're leading from the middle, you're functioning outside of the scope of your role, or maybe you're in a leadership position, but obviously there's someone you report into, right? So I think as a leader, you need to be able to recognize those efforts. And you need to be able to want to expand and grow and develop, because I think any true leader, if they can develop someone to a leader, so now you've recognized the skill set of an individual and you're able to provide them with guidance and bring them along so they can expand on it because you see that potential, right? That is a true leader to me versus an individual that's going to maybe see someone, and you get those people that are like, oh, Mary's doing a little bit too much. Like, she's stepping over into something that, really is my position, or, no one gave her the authorization to make that decision, even though it was a really great decision, or she gave a great suggestion. So, unfortunately, there are people that's just going to want to dim your light and not want to see you succeed and grow. What makes a good leader is they're going to recognize the potential in an employee and say, this is someone that is special. I'm going to work with them. I'm going to mentor this individual. I'm going to build them up so that when I'm ready to leave, I already know I have someone prepared to step into my place. So I have seen that. It's unfortunate. If you do feel like you're ever in a situation where you can't succeed and grow, or you're not being developed, or you're just not getting the right mentorship, or not really being provided with the resources to help you better yourself or expand on your knowledge, then I encourage you to have a difficult conversation and successfully, and maybe take your talents elsewhere, unfortunately, because that's not a leader I would even want to continue to work for, someone that's not going to recognize the potential in me and want to, expand on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's super powerful.
Yeah.
And a key thing that you brought up twice was mentorship. And I know sometimes, like we said, some leaders aren't born, some leaders have to be made. In your career, how important was mentorship in your process of getting to this stage? And who were some of the mentors that stuck with you? What are some of the principles that they taught you?
Yeah, so learning and development there should always be some type of learning and development department within wherever you're working within a business. So an employee should always be able to go through succession planning and should always be able to access some type of program. A lot of the companies have an executive development program, right? So that's a lot of the time where, you have employees that they want to start out, and maybe it's an internship program and you provide the skill set. So what I see in mentorship programs that are successful is the time. Taking the time out of your day to really and truly want to bring someone forward, recognizing the potential in someone to say, I think you would be a great fit and can grow in this department, right? But you have to put your ear to it. You have to take the time to speak with your associates. You have to create these programs, right? Because sometimes these programs don't exist. There's no way for, a college student coming into a role to want to grow and shadow a manager and be in some type of training program.
That's funny. That's actually what CJ's saying right here. He's saying that since he's left the Marines, it seems like there's a lack of leadership development in many of these corporations. Maybe he's seen it through a military prism, but you can't ignore the gut feeling when you've been mentored in leadership, right? So
absolutely,
that's like exactly what you're saying. Is that something in the corporate world that are we keeping at a certain?
I won't say that. Now, you could obviously have the capital to have these programs and understand that you are going to be promoting your people within, because obviously once you grow and you hit a certain level in your career, before you plateau, that comes with pay increases. So then you'll be compensated differently. You may be bonus eligible, right? So, a company truly has to spend the time and put the efforts into creating these programs so that our employees benefit from it. I have been fortunate enough to be in organizations where they do see the value in providing employees with that, the next step in their career, right? Because what's the point of getting the best talent if you don't want to obviously have them improve, right? And what's the best way to retain your talent is saying, hey, you're coming in and you can bring a certain level of skill to our organization, but we also have these really great executive development program, or these really great training programs, right? Or even if you want to transition your career into something else, there may be a great opportunity to do that so that you're more of a well-rounded individual. So I do think you want to be sure you ask the questions. If you're in an environment, then see what resources are available in corporate. I know LinkedIn has a lot of different areas where they are able to provide that development and that mentorship outside of an organization, and hopefully sometimes it's internally as well.
Yeah, so we got a question here. What if you're a lower ranked leader in an organization and the integrity of the organization has been exposed in a negative manner based on actions of mismanaging of money, etc.? Do you provide clarity to the others in the group about the hiccups in the integrity or threat that happens in the business? Also, taking into consideration that in the future, things may get worse where employees won't get paid. Do you speak up to keep your integrity?
Transparency is very important. So if there is a chance that your employees will be impacted due to some type of integrity concern, I would be open and upfront, right? I would definitely provide the clarity about what happened and what's going on for a clear understanding. And, I would never treat anything like this is what happens in business, because you want to be able to be transparent with your team so they understand, and they need to be prepared. And if you have a strong team and you have, if you are making sure that you are leading by example, if you are making ethical decisions, and I did touch on integrity and demonstrating integrity, then be that soundboard, right? Even if you're a lower level leader, your team will respect you, and I think they would stick around with you despite what's happening, just because you were upfront and honest with them and you kept it real. Because down the line, if you had information that could have helped and supported, or maybe might have changed the mindset, or could have helped you could, be open to these employees, and then you'll find out more information that'll help you in making a decision.